Welcome in, everybody. We're going into Week 8 Power Rankings. I'm joined here by a guest host, Mr. Mark, owner of the Booty Pebbles. Mark, how you feeling tonight?
I'm good, leading my
Yeah.
division, feeling strong. Best division out there. Some say the NFC West, but I say, don't, we don't want to feel that great, don't put a wind up our ass.
I mean, all that matters is the leader of every division gets a guaranteed playoff spot, right, Mark? So you just keep doing you, man.
Thing in the world. No one talks about that.
So, I mean, I know you're leading division right now. It doesn't matter how many times you seem to trip because everyone else in your division's tripping too. So I think you'll be all right.
Take one step back, they take
Gotta
two
make
steps backwards.
Making your push for the first ever repeat champion in the Weekend Dads. So we're gonna go ahead and start off the stream. Mark, I think you had a question that you wanted to ask everyone to kind of give their opinion on down in the chat, non-fantasy football related. Mark, go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, this stream needs a little, more stuff than fantasy football, branch out a little bit. So I was wondering, to all the people here, when you take a shit, do you stand up and wipe or do you stay seated and wiped? Leave your comments in the comment in the comment section.
Yeah, leave your comments in the chat. Leave your comments down in the description below if you're watching the YouTube video. If anyone happens to stumble upon this and they have no idea who any of us are, this is Mark.
Comment.
Leave your comment, please. Let us know. It's going to be very important. So anyway, yes, it's for science. So this is what happens when Mark gets on the podcast. But we'll go ahead and start talking about fantasy football because that's what we usually do for this. So I want to start off talking about a trade that went down this past week. So Dustin and Zaid had it was kind of a weird one, if I'm being honest. Dustin received Brandon Cooks, Evan Ingram, and Todd Gurley. Zaid received Saquon Barkley, Darrell Henderson, and Mike Evans. So, Mark, what were your thoughts kind of when that trade went down? I know a lot of people were like, what the heck's going on in the chat? What was your first impression that went down?
Don't understand the trade. I want to understand it. Some rumbles about, maybe keeper value. I don't know where. I don't know why. Washington defense. I don't know who they're playing this week or going forward, but I guess that's a nice cherry. Maybe is this a salary cap?
Well, I think he dropped the Washington defense to be able to, or I don't know.
Doesn't make sense because you can just drop them when you trade them.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. I don't know if Zaid's already punting the season and just kind of getting his Saquon keeper value. I also thought it was weird that Saquon was basically the 101 in our league because Dustin kept him with the controversial keeper that Dustin had where he could have drafted Saquon anyway and kept someone else later. But he chose to keep Saquon because, he's just that sold on him. He loves him that much as a guy. Took him at the 101 basically then, and then trades him away for Brandon Cooks, Evan Ingram, and Gurley. So
the Evan Ingram, I get Gurley. Gurley's having a decent year. He had that accidental touchdown, but the Evan Ingram part just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, Evan, if you watch him play, first off, he's not even putting up fantasy numbers to even be worth trading for. And then on top of that, if you watch him play, he's dropping passes all over the place. I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting trade. So I don't really know what the thought process was there. But anyways, it went down. But we'll go ahead and start breaking into the power rankings, what everyone's been waiting for. So we can go ahead and start up from the bottom as we do every week. So
number 10.
Starting off at number 10, we got Trevor's 4K Blu-ray player. Not exactly Trevor. Close enough, but Team Tots coming in at 10th. He had a really rough week, only scored 82 points, had a really bad week from Patrick Mahomes, DK Metcalf, and Mike Williams. He's down to 2-5 now. That's the worst record in the league, tied with, I think, Zaid. But he still is only 2 games back from you in first, Mark. So it's still anyone's division, I think, over there in the black division. But, I mean, Eric has the lowest points per game in the league. He's on a 3-game losing streak. you got to kind of look and be like, is Eric's season already over? You know, is he just kind of punting, waiting for next year, and hopefully he can draft a better team next year? What do you think about Eric's team, Mark?
I think, get what he was trying to do. Mahomes, two stud wide receivers, and I just don't think Hill is consistent enough to put up the numbers that he would want with that early pick, which is why I didn't keep him. I mean, my strategy did not work out, but his strategy is also not working out. And he's George Kittle, which I mean, he might be a good trade piece. The rest of his team is just not really startable if you want to win a game.
Yeah,
I was looking at Jamal Williams, but what's that going to do when?
I think Aaron Jones going to be back this week. So I was talking to Jason actually about Eric's team, and he has, I mean, you got the Mahomes and Hill stack, so it kind of depends on how the Chiefs are going to play that week. If Tyreek's having a good week, then obviously Mahomes probably having a good week as well. DK has been pretty solid. He had a rough week this past week just because they put I think they had Pat P covering him most of the time, right?
I believe. Actually, I don't even think that's true, but I mean, we could say it's true.
I don't know. DK,
they salvaged everything in overtime.
They just
for that 40-yard bomb.
He had that holding call.
40-yard screen.
Holding pulled that back, but I mean, Tyler Lockett was just getting all of the targets, touchdowns. He was getting everything. But
which made no sense. Like, put Pat P on him if he's that good.
I think if Eric kind of had spent some time on the waiver wire, especially early, getting some of those pickups. I don't remember if James Robinson was ever on the waiver wire or not, but picking up some running backs like that, he probably could have salvaged his running back and had a pretty solid team, and just have to really work on get a really good solid 0 RB strategy going. But Eric he's not usually very active, and his team's kind of struggling, so we'll go ahead and move.
Here's the foundation. He's just not doing well.
Yeah, he's just gotta.
Pieces aren't there.
He's got to kind of find some pieces. So we'll see if he gets involved in some trades, but I don't think he purposely did. I think he got to like the 8th or 9th round and realized, oh crap, I'm in trouble. But we'll go ahead and move on.
Number 9.
Coming at number 9, huge surprise this week. 5-spot drop for the Chain Gang.
Jesus.
Oh, man. So Trevor already had a pretty shaky wide receiver core, but he also lost OBJ this week for the season, and got absolutely blown out by Jason by 65 points. Now, these were some pretty explosive cream pies, scoring 175 points. But I mean, Trevor from the start, we're going to bring it up. Questionable management decisions. James White, what are you doing, Trevor? He didn't even break a point. Actually, on the week, a third of Trevor's points came from his kicker and his defense. So it just wasn't a good week for Trevor. And so I went back and actually looked at so far this year and kind of the history of the Chain Gang. His only wins have come against the Cardboard Hippos, which I think we all agree is one of the bottom tier teams. Team Tots, our 10th ranked team, and a completely depleted Nutcracker squad. That was the week that he had no Jacobs, no Waller, no Lockett, and no Carson. So Austin's team was like basically dead that week, and Trevor was able to beat him. So that's his only 3 wins. The other ones against the big boys, Trevor hasn't been able to pull out this season. On the bright side, he has the largest fab budget left in the league, which I think is just about every year. But Trevor, historically, I feel like always sticks with his guys and doesn't frequent kind of the waiver wire as much or try to go after big trade pieces or anything. So it'll be interesting if we see something different this year. And I could see him probably making some major changes coming up soon. So what do you think about this 5-spot drop, Mark?
There's 3 things I know about Trevor. 1, he doesn't beat me. 2, doesn't trade. 3, he doesn't spend his fab. Actually, there's 4 things. Number 4 is that he preaches depth. We'll start backwards and say that he has 0 depth. This man is carrying 2 quarterbacks, 2 defenses, 2 tight ends. Is Mark Ingram, James White, Michael Pirine, Cole Beasley. I mean, we don't win with this lineup. And we're not even getting into his starters, which don't think they're better than his bench. I don't know. Just my opinion. Michael Thomas, who knows if he'll be back? And then on top of that, he's starting 2 Steeler wide receivers, and one of them being Juju, which I mean, some have called him the Larry Fitzgerald of 2020. I don't know. But it's just I don't know who Trevor is anymore. I mean, he was in the championship last year. Was that a fluke? And this team looks horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor's team is just, it's really having a rough time. I don't think it was good from the start, and then he's had injuries, and it seems like he hasn't really gone after anyone. He's still confident about it. He has quarterbacks, but I mean, you can get quarterbacks off the waiver wire no matter what.
I mean, I throwing out Matt Stafford and Minshew. I'm not fearing anything. I mean, does he trade Russell Wilson and Travis Kelce? What does that get you back, though?
Those are clearly his biggest trade piece. I mean, he's been without Michael Thomas the whole year, and it seems like things just keep coming up like week after week with him of, you know, what's wrong, what's going to be wrong with him this week.
I mean, I feel like I don't even know if Michael Thomas is going to play this year. It's like at that point.
Yeah, so we'll see if he can see if he can bounce back this week and make some changes. I expect him to be maybe trying to do something at least, so we'll see. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next spot in the power rankings.
Number 8.
Coming in at number 8, Cardboard Hippos. So they clawed themselves out of the 10 spot after last week. He's trying to make his way back up. I think he got up to 4 or so 2 weeks ago, and then the drastic drop all the way down to 10. But he did have one first place vote, and it was publicized, so I can say it was Jimmy. So take that with the grain of salt that it is.
Does Jimmy explain his rankings, or are they just out in the open for?
I mean, he's an engineer, so he probably has a very in-depth analysis process.
Like a nice formula going on.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure he puts a lot of hard work and thought into his rankings. But the Hippos were on a revenge tour this past week. Took down the number 1 ranked Gibsons last week. DJ Moore breakout, and Dustin had a pretty good defensive pickup with the Washington football team. He did lose Kenyon Drake. Yeah, he traded or dropped whatever he did. They're gone now. But so Kenyon Drake got injured. Dustin's hated Kenyon Drake all year. So he's probably happy that he's honestly injured. And then he went out and traded for Gurley to try to get some sort of running back going on that team. But does that actually fix the problem? And with Dustin's already injury-prone running backs, is Gurley a good choice for the Hippos? So he gave away his number 1 overall pick / keeper Saquon for Gurley. So I guess he's going to be real high on him, locking him in all of his lineups. And is Dustin going to be rooting against the Panthers this Thursday then for Gurley to be running all over him? Mark, what do you think about Dustin's squad?
I mean, I don't hate Dustin's squad, actually. I mean, I feel like it could be very boom or bust. I mean, he's got very boom or bust running backs and wide receivers. Jarvis Landry, I mean, he showed up last week, but who knows if he's going to keep that going with OBJ out. Noah Fant, I mean, it seems like Drew Lock is Sam Darnold-esque and doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And, I mean, his team can drop like 150 or 80 points, and he'll probably just end up in the middle of that, but I think he could steal some games unexpectedly.
Yeah, I think he's got a pretty average team, honestly, run of the mill. All of our teams are pretty balanced. We don't have completely awful teams. I mean, even Eric has, gotten some wins. Dustin's been able to. He's there at 3-4, so he's just 1 game back behind you, Mark. He's coming for you.
No, I mean, he is. I don't hate his team.
Yeah, so that
win a championship, but he can make the playoffs.
With your division, it's pretty much wide open right now. He could make the playoffs. We'll see. But yeah, we'll go ahead and
who knows? Anyone's doing.
Go ahead and move on. Oh, I forgot the sound drop, but
oh my god,
Mark, introduce
Best
yourself
in
to
the
the people. You're locked in.
I mean,
I don't think you can
Fruity
move.
Pebbles, first in the division. We're a steady 7, and I don't expect us going anywhere for the rest of the season. We can win the championship. I feel like week, 29, and we'll still be ranked number 7. We're fine with that over here. We are devastated by bye weeks this week. Injuries. I mean, we got McCaffrey and Chubb and IR, but we've been trying to float along, stay steady. There's rumors of trades going on. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, you tell me. Yeah, I'm a little nervous for this week. After that, I'm feeling good. I did look ahead to my team's schedule if I had this roster, the playoffs, and if we make the playoffs, I am more confident than Trevor ever could be.
Well, I'll go ahead and I'll give you your intro.
Number 7.
So I'm gonna read my notes from last week, and
Oh God.
I basically just copy and pasted. So I wrote Booty Pebbles remains locked at number 7. Yep. Despite he
Facts.
still received his number 1 vote for a third, now
Facts.
4th week in a row. Keeps coming in. He had a disappointing week. Yeah.
Facts. 113. I mean, it's not great, but
He'll be reliant on his
That's-
waiver additions of Boston Scott. And CMC is still not expected to play.
facts.
So you lost to the Mags this past week by 54 points.
Oh,
Jimmy's
he's
team,
hot.
he went off,
He's
dude.
fucking hot, dude. That
But-
man is hot.
There's
That
a
is fucking scary right now.
there's a possibility you might get CMC back soon. So he practiced today. I wouldn't trust him to play on Thursday, but it's possible that he could be back maybe the next week. You're still leading the white division, or is it black division? Black division, but you're losing
You said
ground.
black earlier, so I'm gonna go with that.
I think it's black. And there's been rumors that you're on the trading block. So Mark's always trying to wheel and deal.
I don't want CMC on my team. I've been saying this since I drafted him, and no one will fucking take him, and I don't know why.
Mark's team is
The-
always
the
for sale.
number 1, 2, and 10 scorer. I don't know. I'm trying to get rid of him. Don't know why no one will take him from me.
Well, I think, Mark, we can expect you to be at number 7 next week and the week after, and probably all the way until the end of the year. So,
Honestly,
We'll
if I
just get-
collapse though, I'll probably still be at 7.
oh yeah, I don't think they would take you down just because of the potential of you getting back to 7. I don't know. You got to stay at 7. So,
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and move on from you, Mark. Any closing remarks though on your team?
Someone come get CMC.
Okay, CMC is on the block. Everyone, come get him if you want him.
Number 6.
3 years now.
Coming at number 6, we got the Zorillas. So Zayd's team basically just stayed in the same position, even though he lost his rivalry game to the Nutcrackers. He did have his trade for Saquon, and as I said before, we got to ask, is Zayd just kind of
Here.
punting the season and just giving up? Like, okay, I think I'm gonna keep Saquon, or what? He obviously has to trade like for keeper value at that point. Like, why else would you trade for Saquon if he's out for the season?
Why
But
would you keep Saquon though?
I don't know. Why would you trade for Saquon?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because he's probably gonna miss like a few games or not be great the first few games. Like, there's not whatever. It's your
It's just-
podcast or
other-
stream. I don't wanna
Otherwise,
enjoy
it's
that.
like, what does he? I don't know what he gains unless he wants to keep Saquon. But he can't keep more than 2 players, and he has Fournette, which we know he's keeping. That's a lock basically for Zayd.
That's a
and
lock.
he has
Let me
Aaron
say something about
Jones.
Zayd Fournette.
So it's like Zayd's just trying to be the running back distributor for next year. He wants to be the new factory. I think he's trying to get in that conversation. But this past week,
Good luck.
Zayd had a very controversial situation. Apparently, had a phone issue. Couldn't get his lineup fixed to take Aaron Jones out after he was a late scratch. So, the
Do you
Zorillas were.
believe this?
I don't. It's Zayd, man. I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt, but
It's like
Zorillas.
if he didn't have service, like phone cell service, he has group me messages when it went through, right?
I don't
I
know,
don't know.
dude.
Whatever. You know,
It-
I'm not the commissioner. I'm
it's-
happy
it's-
this isn't my problem.
I looked at his roster. It didn't matter who he put in for Aaron Jones. He was going to lose anyway, so it's fine. But
Yeah.
so Zade's chilling there at 6. We'll go ahead and move on to the next spot in rankings.
Number
All right,
5.
bye, Zayd.
Bye, Zade. Coming in at number 5, we got Jimmy's team. So Jimmy had a big 4-spot jump after his
Man
absolute
is hot.
domination over the Booty Pebbles. So he did all that without even Zeke like doing anything. Zeke had like 3 points.
Zeke is trash.
But the his newly acquired James Robinson went off. Devontae Adams went off.
They're gonna say Tim Patrick.
Tim Patrick, did he have a big game?
Tim Patrick's, he's sneaky good. No one's talking about it. 12
Sneaky.
yards.
So Jimmy had 167 points scored, second on the week, only to the Cream Pies, who we got his James Robinson from. He does have Kyler and James on bye this week, so he'll be relying on Carson Wentz as he takes on Team Tots. But I think Eric's team, as we talked before, it's a little depleted. Jimmy's team, as Mark says, is hot, so that should hopefully be a W for the Mags. He's in the white division, which is basically everyone except Colin is 4-3. Mark, what do you think about Jimmy coming in here at 5?
Honestly, I don't know how much longer Jimmy can keep this up. He's been a force of nature, but Kyler's out this week. I don't think he's gonna, hit his high. Bell's in the starting lineup right now, and that's just. It's a revenge game, but Jimmy Graham's old as shit. Tim Patrick is Tim Patrick. Zeke looks like trash. Wentz is playing Dallas though, so he can drop fucking 90. Who knows?
It's also Wentz, though.
Primetime Wentz against Dallas. He'll probably drop like 8. Who knows?
Dallas
And then
doesn't
Nucci
make
might
sense to
go the
me.
fuck off. Dallas is fucked.
I don't even want. We could sit here and talk all night about Dallas, but I didn't even talk about that. But
Dude, if you have anyone on Dallas right now, get rid of him as fast as you can.
I don't even know what he has Zeke on his roster. I don't even know what Zeke's value would be at this point. Zeke's tipping passes up to the defense,
And
blatantly
Thompson?
right off his hands, fumbling the ball
Fumbling
twice a
every
game. He got paid and he doesn't care
Everyone said-
anymore, man.
You got that tattoo. You don't care anymore.
He got a tattoo on his stomach. He's done. That was his life goal. That was when he reached. Zeke was like, once I get that stomach tattoo, it's over. I'm done. But
I'm gonna get that tattoo.
yeah, I'm sure you will, Mark. All right.
Feed me. My second championship.
Any last thoughts on Jimmy's team?
Trade me Devontae Adams.
Okay, he wants Devontae Adams from you, Jimmy. I doubt it's going to happen.
Number 4.
Coming in at number 4, we got Austin's team with the Nutcrackers. So moved up a spot after his win over Zaid. He's able to get his roster. He got his roster back up to full strength after his little hiccup with Trevor. But he had a really good, consistent week across the board. The only players on his team that didn't score in double digits were his kicker and his defense. Austin's been out spitballing as he always does, making his trade offers, talking with all the teams, and he has a big matchup this week, huh, Mark?
He does. Honestly, his team, her matchup, like his players. They match up pretty good. Honestly, if he drops 150, I wouldn't be shocked. I hope he doesn't. But if I drop 160, I don't know how good his team will be going forward. It's just this week is definitely primed. Just the stars align for him.
Yeah,
Besides
he
that, I got
has.
really nothing.
He has the highest scoring team right now in the league. He's been pretty solid,
really?
except for 927. It used to be Trevor until Trevor's. So I think he's been
Trevor.
consistent across the board, and he had a really
I guess so. Yeah.
good couple first weeks. The only bad week he really had was against Trevor, and he's been good. So Austin's team's solid. I'm gonna pull it up real quick and even look at it more. So his receivers, I think he was trying to shop. He was trying to shop T a little bit. He'll be losing Hopkins this week, so at least you don't have to face that. The target monster right now for Arizona. But Chris Carson and Jacobs. If Carson, it seems like I think he's gonna miss time. So he might be in a
I'm
little
pretty
bit
sure
of
he's gonna miss
trouble.
A few weeks. You know he's questionable.
Yeah. So
I feel like that questionable tag is misleading.
I mean, he's got Mostert sitting there in IR that should, I would think, be back at some point this year. So when his running backs are going to be healthy, like they're going to be good. Oh, he has Eckler too, even on his IR. So his running backs are good. They're just all injured. And his receivers, he's going to be down Hopkins, but he got Julio. Julio is a pretty good at this point in his career, good wide receiver too, at least. And then T. Higgins is coming out to be quite the player right now for Cincinnati. He has a lot of targets coming to him from Joe Burrow and seems to be doing pretty well. So that's my boy, the Clemson boy. So any last thoughts on Austin?
Like, repeating what I said, I mean, his team matches up really well this week. He's got some really nice matchups. I mean, I wouldn't want to play him this week. Okay, I don't.
Well, we'll see what you can do, Mark. Hopefully you can keep it, or else the rest of the guys in your division might be right on your heels for it. So go ahead and move into the top three.
Number 3.
Coming in number
Weird.
3,
Ooh.
the Boston Cream Pies with their one first place vote.
I voted him ninth.
Sheesh. So he was high up there in the rankings, I'll tell you that. So he had a huge week with 176 points, 75. I don't remember exactly, but led by Tyler Lockett with his 46. And that was even including CD, who literally got a tenth of a point over a donut. So it was basically a 0 coming from CD Lamb. As you were saying before, Cowboys at this point, you just want to abandon ship, which really sucks because I love CD Lamb at the beginning of the year.
Which also sucks for Jason because he sat him until, it wasn't right to sit him.
See, so I was telling him the whole time.
Seating?
I told him to free CD, and he did. And because of Jason playing him, Dak got hurt. So we can blame Jason, honestly.
Don't put that curse on anyone else.
But so looking at rest of Jason's team, Mixon, who was his top keeper, has still been a question mark this season. He hasn't looked too great, and he's been injured a lot.
Probably gonna miss this week because their bye's coming up, and I feel like they might just sit him.
Yeah, so I mean, Mixon hasn't exactly worked out, but otherwise, Jason's team, he's still kind of made it work. His running backs are solid, his receivers are solid. He got AJ Brown in that trade. That's really worked out for him, as well as he got AJ Brown and Tyler Lockett in that trade, didn't he? Wow.
Imagine having both of those and trading them away.
Well, you got James Robinson that went for 35 against the Booty Pebbles, so he bought a win. So a lot of people were saying
He would have beat me without him. So
a lot of people were saying that Jason did this trade just to beat Trevor. So who knows what Jason does with the roster after this week? He might have just been looking for that one win and might be moving on from there. So we'll have to pay close attention there.
That might explain Trevor's horrendous record against winning teams.
So, I mean, you look at Jason's team, he has Lamar. Lamar hasn't looked exactly the same as he was last year, but they just haven't been running him as much. But he still always has a solid floor. Jonathan Taylor's been all right. Ronald Jones has been looking good, except for last week when they decided to go with all Leonard Fournette, and Zayd was going crazy at his 5-mile-an-hour wide open rushes.
Ronald Jones honestly looks really good this year, and the fact that they're playing Fournette is just disgusting for a franchise. I mean, I know the Buccaneers are doing well.
Yeah, it's been a while.
When you have 3 100-game rushing, you fucking that Leonard Fournette. What are you doing as a franchise?
The Tampa Bay is just trying to go around and collect as many old vets as they can and throw them on a roster and see if it works. So Jason does finally have a Chase Edmonds season coming up, hopefully after the bye. Looks like he might finally get his chance. We are hoping and praying. I'm sure Mark knows that it doesn't turn out into Alexander Madison season. So, or one can hope, man. One can hope. So, Jason, Hurdy's trying to ship Justin Herbert out, even though he's a big fan of him. So, we'll see.
Imagine trading for a quarterback.
I mean, with some of these people, someone traded for Saquon, so
You're not wrong.
there's wild stuff
You're-
out here, man. Wild
You're
stuff.
not wrong.
But we'll go ahead and move on to number 2.
Number 2.
That was super delayed. Coming at number 2, we got Gibson's.
Oh, Blake number
dropping
1.
down. So-
That's where you want to be.
Colin still had 2 first place votes, but he had a rough loss to the Hippos. And this was actually Colin's lowest score of the season. We talked about it, I think, a little bit last week, but Colin had his really sneaky pickup of, he had some inside info, getting Antonio Brown off the waivers before anyone even thought of it, So we did finally sign his contract. I think he might actually get some snaps this week. I'm not 100% sure on it, but we might get some Antonio Brown action coming out of Colin's team. And honestly, if Antonio Brown can be anywhere close to what he used to be, that's exactly what Colin's team needs, just because his receiving core isn't amazing. It's a little lackluster, honestly. But his running backs, he's looking to get Dalvin Cook back. He has Kamara. And he's taking on Trevor this week. So the chain gang's been struggling, and
It's a bounce back week.
Colin's coming off a rough loss. So we'll see. The 2 disappointments last week are going to be facing each other to see what they can do. And Colin's going to be trying to bring those GGs back in the chat.
Collins wide receivers are not great. DeAndre Swift, not great. I understand Kamara is fucking killing it. Maybe Antonio Brown will be great. I don't know. I mean, I understand why Colin is doing well, and it's hard for me to see how he can continue doing this well with Robinson, Hilton, and Parker. I mean, I don't know their end of the year schedule. Maybe we'll have really good matchups and show up, but it seems like he needs like one nice trade away from like being the best team.
Yeah, well, it looks like this week he is going to be playing Breeze and Kamara against Chicago, so that's a little bit scary, honestly.
He's got a terrible matchup. I mean,
yeah, he doesn't have Deshaun Watson, who's been
Rams,
really good this year. But
Bush
I mean,
against Indy.
he's 5-2, so he has the highest record or best record in the league right now, leading the tougher of the divisions.
God, if Trevor fucking seals this game, I'll be so mad.
Oh yeah, because he'll be one step closer to you. So we'll see how
It's not even why. It's not even why.
Trevor will be back.
Trevor
He gets to 500 and he is back.
God. He thrives at 500.
Just gonna bounce back and forth, sneak into the playoffs somehow. He will. So, any last thoughts on Colin before we get to number 1?
Just fuck Trevor. That's about it.
Ooh, fighting words out here.
Number 1.
Coming at number
What is
1,
it?
Quaddy B, the Bebop and Baby Bears.
Jeez.
So
man.
finally had a big win last week over Team Tots. But I had a pretty solid week just across the board. Everyone scoring in double digits except my defense. So
Man.
apparently Chris Godwin had some miraculous finger surgery issues, which was,
He broke his finger.
yeah, that's not great. So I'm a receiver down
Does not
again,
help you.
and Will Fuller's on bye. So luckily we have I think I have a softer matchup this week. I don't even remember who I'm playing. Crap. Oh, we got the Hippos. Okay. So I'm
See, you have
playing.
Miles Sanders in there.
Yeah, I'm playing Dustin this week. So as we talked before, Dustin's team, it's looking pretty good. I do get Miles Sanders back, hopefully. CEH is going to be playing the Jets, so just give me all of that. Matt Ryan against Carolina. I don't know how I feel about that on Thursday, but I do like having Thursday games just so I can at least see where I'm going to be for the week, and it's fun to at least have players in those primetime games. Mark Andrews is back. Gronk looked good, though, or at least he's looked good the past couple of weeks. I don't know if he's looked good, but Brady has been wanting to get him the ball at least.
He's getting the volume. I mean, maybe trade Andrews, keep Gronk. I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I mean, my receiving cores look pretty good. It's sucks this week that I'm missing Godwin and Fuller because it looks like I'm going to be trying to figure out that third wide receiver spot. Corey Davis looked to be getting decent volume last week. Darius Slayton seems to be boom or bust with the Giants offense, but Cam, I don't know what the hell happened.
You need to drop him.
Cam is crashing down to earth. He looks like straight up Carolina Panthers Cam right now. It's bad. He's not completing passes. They're not running the ball. It looks like people finally are figuring out the Patriots offense or something, because it's not good.
Their offense is not good.
Yeah, so
You need to get rid of him. I understand the love for him.
he
What's going on with Miles Sanders though? Is he playing this week?
I don't know. I don't know if they've decided yet.
They got a bye coming up. I feel like they might sit him.
That's 2 weeks away though.
No, buys.
Or that's 1 week away. Oh man, I don't know. If he does get in against Dallas, oh man, that's such a good matchup though.
That's
So
easy money.
we'll see what happens coming up with that. But I'm back at 1. I guess it's just because consistency, and a lot of people just don't feel comfortable putting Colin at 1.
I don't.
So that's
Are you in the market for any players? Are you trying to trade or anything?
I don't know. I might be moseying around, so we'll see. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks. We're at the halfway point right now. I don't even know when our
weeks. You don't want to announce anything for the Thursday night games or anything.
I gotta look at when our trade deadline is, but we're at the halfway point now in the season, so our league's super close. I think no one is completely eliminated yet. Zayd and Eric are a little bit on the edge there, but we're all tight in the playoff race right now, trying to make those pushes. So there's going to be some moves made with rosters of people putting themselves in a position to be able to make that push, get some good playoff matchups and all that. So, but yeah, that's going to be our power rankings. We had the huge drop of the Chain Gang and the big rise of the Mags. Mark, what are you thinking about this? The way things are looking right now.
I mean, I'm feeling confident as always. Not feeling confident this week, honestly. I mean, Austin's got good matchups, even though his team's ass. I can't wait to get my first and second round picks back next week. So,
loving life at number 7 right there. I'm sure we can expect you.
So there's nothing that matters.
We can expect you right back there with your one first place vote.
Always.
So yeah, that's all we got. Mark, do you have any closing remarks for the chat, or if we have any questions right now in the chat, now's the time to ask them. I'll check them out now. They were all chatting during the thing before, and I wasn't really able to see it.
It's on Twitch?
Yeah,
live?
So we are live on Twitch.
Oh man, Trevor mentioned me on GroupMe. Can't wait to see that. What do you say? Please fix Mark's volume. Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, apparently you were a little quiet. We'll be back in a few weeks, and no one will be talking about it. Zayd's talking about how his team's going to be back. All right, Zayd, I wasn't completely talking shit. I'm just trying to give an accurate consensus of how we feel about your team. Jason brought up Le'Veon Bell revenge game this week. How do you feel about that, Mark?
Honestly, I could see Bell getting like maybe 5 carries and maybe bringing 1 to the house. That's about it.
Yeah,
I think he's gonna get the volume unless they're up a lot. So
gonna be running angry though, so we'll see. He might just run right into the bench and take Adam Gase out.
I mean, that'd be the smart move. Just fucking headbutt him.
Jets fans would rejoice.
Just trying to get the number 1 pick, Gase would be fired by now.
Follower J Creasy 11 would like to know: is David Montgomery worse than Leonard Fournette?
Yes.
I think they're basically the same person. One's just a little bit older.
He's worse. But are they? Is he older? Are they not the same age?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Zayd would like to know: is Leonard
25?
Zayd wants to know if Leonard Fournette will get more scrimmage yards than Ronald Jones this week.
Montgomery, I don't know. Well, the answer is no, but I don't know who you compared him to. I didn't hear you.
I think it just depends on who actually gets the carries. I'm sorry, I saw a question in the chat, and it's getting a little ugly in here. But it's going to depend if Arians feels like giving Leonard Fournette the ball again. It's just like he loves Fournette and wants him to be good, and then Ronald Jones is good. And maybe they just know that Ronald Jones got injured last year, and they want to kind of save him for when they're getting in the playoffs, and they're going to let Fournette hurt himself while he's out there and just kind of take care of things that way. So,
I understand running Fournette into the ground, but like Ronald Jones is doing really well. I was not a Ronald Jones believer. Still don't think he can catch the ball, but I'd rather have him running than Fournette ever touching the football field.
well, we'll take one more question. So Jason wants to know, do you like Julio Jones or Tyler Lockett rest of the season? Mark, I think I know where you're at on this one.
Austin's an idiot.
So, okay. Zay does one more. I'll say with how the Seahawks offense is right now, I really like Tyler Lockett. I think they were talking about Julio involved in trade rumors, which I think would be really weird, but also like interesting. It would just be so weird to see Julio somewhere else other than Atlanta. But it would just be dependent on if he goes to like the Bears or something, and that's just 100% rip. But if he went somewhere,
His career's over if he goes there.
he went to the Texans, like, oh my God. He'd be limping everywhere. Yeah. But
I don't know.
All right, last question. Zaid wants to know Amari Cooper or Gallup until the end of your life.
Gallup, baby. My ride or die until tomorrow at 3 a.m.
Oh, man. Breaking news, Mark will be dropping Michael Gallup, his keeper, tomorrow at 3 a.m. So everyone be paying attention. And Zaid, you can go pick him up. Trevor. Trevor will be in the market for receivers, so you know. Michael Gallup, that's keeper value, man.
Oh, Trevor, you're a shitty fantasy owner. Why don't you trade for him?
Oof. Oh man, Trevor's gonna be pissed. I think he's back from the farm now, and he's gonna be paying attention in the chat, and we're gonna have Mark and Trevor going at it. Yeah, he's back from his rehabilitation from the hard loss from the cream pies. So this is gonna wrap it up for the stream. So thank you everyone for watching. Mark, do you have any closing remarks for all those people out there and all them weekend dads?
Stay safe, stay beautiful, stay wiping your ass.
Drink new serum.
Drink new serum.
There you go, man. All right,
trade for CMC.
Trade for CMC. You had an offer in here for DJ and Keenan.
I don't want to get into that. Don't want to get into it.
All right, no comment on that. So thanks again for watching, everybody. Have a good rest of the week. Bye. Thank you for coming, Mark.